Okay, so good morning good morning and good evening. And first of all, I would like to welcome you to this Ansible automation platform demo here. We can say it is a demo, or you can take it as a first day session. It's anything is okay. So this is what exactly. So let me introduce myself. As you all, like me. I'm Balachandar Raj. I'm having 18 plus years of experience in infrastructure, cloud, and automation administration. And as a tech consultant and senior software trainer. So I deal with this all the technologies I deal with, Red Hat Ansible automation platform and Red
Mhm.
Hat Linux, AWS Cloud, Veritas Suite, and so many things. And I also provide remote virtual labs. So this is what for your training and the development and testing environments, if you need it, we will provide virtual labs. And apart from this, job support as well as certification assistance, right? So this is all about myself. And now, quickly, let me get into something called our demo. See, uh, when it comes to Ansible, right? So maybe you might come across this Ansible technology or Ansible tool from long time, right? Many times, like when you get into any infrastructure, any um, you know infrastructure or cloud, you can say, or you can go with something called DevOps. Most of the time, you will be hearing about something called Ansible, right? So, as maybe you might be Googling here and there regarding the Ansible, and you might come across something like Ansible is an automation tool, or Ansible is something called application deployment tool or configuration management tool, or someone will say that Ansible is a server provisioning tool. Like so many things comes into, you know, like when you search in a Google or when you talk to something, right? And today you will come to know what is exactly Ansible. Okay, what we can do with the Ansible. Okay, and where we can use this Ansible to automate your workload, to automate your infrastructure, to automate your databases. All these things will come to know, right? But before I jump into something called what is Ansible and all these things, let me also understand, because you know, like you are into IT industry from last 15 years, last 20 years, right? So basically assume that we don't have any automation tools like 15 years, 20 years back. And like how the things used to be happened in a data center, or
Yeah.
in building the infrastructure, or in building the application, or in building the securities, or building something called applications, right? So it used to be a lot of manual administration. We used to do it, right? Okay, manual administration means what? Like very simple. Like we used to, like we have already a server. If you want to buy the server, if you want to get the server also, like it is not that easy, right? If you go 15 years, 20, even now the current environments also, current infrastructure also, if you want to buy a physical server, it is not that easy, right?
Yeah.
So you need to select the feature, I mean, you need to select the model, you need to understand the configuration, then you need to go through detail about the specs, right? Then you are going to place an order, then the server comes, it has to unbox. After unboxing, like it has to be connected into a rack, right? With network, consoles, everything you're going to connect, and you'll get that particular server into, you know, using a console access, you will try to get it. Okay, then you will try to test all the configuration, install OS. If you are want to install an OS, you will install Linux or Windows or Mac, anything you can install. Or if you don't want to go with operating system, then you will try to use this for some virtualization or cloud, whatever you want, right? Based on your client or customer requirement, you're going to Just try to build that, right? Now, do you think that it is going to happen over the night? Really, no. It is going to take around 10 to 15 weeks time, or 15 to 20 weeks time also it will take to build and configure and test and then bring it into something called production, right? This is what exactly, even after bringing it to the production also, you will be coming across a lot of errors, you know, bugs, misconfigurations, right? Then slowly, you will start fixing it. And finally, it might take around 4 to 5 months time to get one server into a production, right? So this was exactly like how, infrastructure building used to happen when you go a 15, 20 years back, right?
Yeah.
So you will also have a question, sir. 15, 20 years back, we don't have any automation tool. Why not? We have an automation tools even 15 years back also, even 20 years back also, we used to have an automation tools. But, we used to have an automation tools for a specific purpose, right? What is that? Like if you want to do an application deployment, only for application deployment, we have a automation, right? So if you want to do configuration management, you have a separate tool for something called configuration management. This is what exactly we do. And when you go 15 years back or 20 years back also, you should know one. We should know one thing here is, many companies they used to not show much interest on something called automation. Okay, because when the IT industry has started, when people started building the infrastructures, right, they feel like they are comfort with something called manual administration only, right? And of course, apart from manual administration, people used to do lot of automation using something called, scripting. A
Hmm.
standard method of
Yeah.
automating it is nothing but scripting we used to do, right? And scripting has lot of challenges. Like everyone has their own style of writing a script. There is no
Yeah.
standard, you know, coding or standard language which everyone has to follow. There is no such concept, right? So you will write a script that might become something called 2 pages. If I'm writing a script, it might become 2.5 page. If some other person is writing a script, he can write within 1.5 pages, right? So this is what exactly we used to work with the scripting. So scripting is good to automate, but we people don't follow any standard, or scripting doesn't have any standards at all, right? So this is what exactly the
Hmm.
problem. You might take any language, you can take any scripting. It might be Bash, it might be Mon, it might be Con, anything you take it. This is what exactly the challenge. So now, how do we overcome that? How do we overcome that? Then, you know, uh, this is what exactly the challenge is. So we are going to overcome all these problems with the help of something called automation tools, or we call it as a DevOps tool, right? But first of all, you should understand before you learn Ansible, you should know what is automation tool and why this automation tool is coming under DevOps. That is a big question, right? So very simple here, like when I'm just talking about DevOps, okay, this is what exactly. Okay, so the dev is a word which has been taken from the development, and op is a word which is taken from the operations, right? This word, the combination is these two words only gives us information that whatever the tool that comes under DevOps, we are going to use that tool from, testing a development to production at every, area of your infrastructure. We are going to use this, right? And remember, like Ansible also comes under something called DevOps. Ansible also comes under something called DevOps, right? And using Ansible, you can do whatever the management that you want to do, right? So this is what
Mhm.
exactly how this DevOps word has been derived. Okay. Now, good. Now you have understood something about DevOps. And now, when I am just talking about DevOps here, now, like we talk something about a tool called Ansible, right? So as usually, like Ansible is an open source automation tool, it is called, right? So as you know, like what is open source? Open source means the code is open to everyone, right?
Mhm.
So if I say that the code is open to everyone, what we will do with the code, right? So very simple here, like it gives an opportunity to the people who want to develop, as per their infrastructure, as per their environment, they can develop. Getting it? So this is what exactly, as you know, like Unix and Linux was also an open source. There are many softwares which comes under something called open source, right? So open source means a very simple, the code is open to everyone and everyone. If I want to develop something, for example, I'm having some application or tool with my where I'm working with my company, and my company management asks me to automate this particular tool or application or database using Ansible. So what I'll do, so I will try to write a code and I will try to develop the modules for my software or for my application or for my database. This is what exactly we're going to do, right? So it is
Mhm.
clear like what is open source automation tool here and or a platform used for IT tasks such as configuration management and application deployment or intra-service orchestration and provisioning. This is all the areas where Ansible is used initially. I'm talking right now it is used everywhere, right? But now when I'm just talking about Ansible here, configuring both Unix-like system as well as Microsoft Windows. See, when Ansible was introduced, they concentrated only on Unix or I can say Linux. Unix-like system is nothing but Linux only, right?
Mhm.
Okay, initially it is developed for Linux as well as Microsoft Windows, right? So this is what exactly how the things came into an existence. But you have to know something about more about the Ansible because as you know that right now Ansible automation platform is a product of Red Hat,
Right.
right? So it is good. Now you will say that okay, it is a product of Red Hat, but do you think that Red Hat really developed it? No, they did not develop it, right? Now the question here is now how come this Ansible software came into an existence? Okay, who developed it? For what purpose they developed it? Okay, so this is what exactly the questions you know will be there in our mind, right? So very simple here. Now when I just talk about okay, how this Ansible automation software came into an existence, right? So for understanding this, what we need to do is we have to go somewhere, you know, somewhere like 2012, right? Why we are talking about 2012? Because in 2012 only this Ansible software came into an existence. Before that, no one knows something about the Ansible, right? Now the question here is in 2012, who developed it? Who brought this into the market? So very simple here in 2012, there was a person with the name called Michael D. Hans, right? Who is this Michael D. Hans? The Michael D. Hans is a person who has a vast experience before 2012 in the, you know, automation tool or DevOps tool like this we can say, right? He worked with many other tools before 2012 and then you will ask me, has he worked with many tools? Why he have taken a decision to develop a tool called Ansible, right? So very simple here,
Mhm.
when before 2012, when he started working with different types of DevOps tools, and every tool has some importance here. If, for example, if you want to perform something called configuration management, we have a separate tools for it. And if you want to do application deployment, we have a separate tools for it. Okay. If you want to do server provisioning, we have a separate tools for it. Okay. So the problem here is we have a different tools for different concepts, different requirements. There is no one tool which is going to address all the requirements of your infrastructure, right? So Michael Dehans was having this thought in his mind. So saying that why not a one single tool has to address the entire infrastructure, right? So that is a question he was having. Then finally, what he did is he have decided to develop the a tool which is going to address the entire infrastructure, right? There is, if a person comes and start using this particular tool, then he should not look into any other alternative. It has to, this one single tool has to support the entire infrastructure, right? It might be Windows, it might be Linux, it might be network, it might be cloud, it might be Docker, Kubernetes, database, whatever it might, it has to support. This is what exactly is, ideology behind the developing Ansible. And he was also having some questions. What is this question? See, many times when the people want to want to learn Ansible or some other DevOps tool, not Ansible, take an example, they want to learn something called Puppet or Chef or something else they want to learn. Always people ask you, do you have any coding knowledge prior to this? When you say yes, not a problem. If you say no, then they'll say that it's tough to learn, right? So that is the reason many people in the IT industry who just want to learn this DevOps tool, instead of taking one step forward, they just move back, they step back, and they will just try to, cut off the thought of learning DevOps tool, you know, in their career, right? And now the problem is that with nowadays, without a DevOps tool, without an automation tool, it is very tough to survive in the industry. This is what exactly happened, right? We should have some kind of automation tools within our profile. Okay, then only what happened is the companies will give us a lot of weightage to our profile. If they are giving a lot of weightage to our profile, that weightage also, okay, will be given to us also. This is what exactly how it is going to be, right? So what Michael Dehans want to do is he just want to cut off this coding knowledge before prior learning this tool. So what he did is, he developed this Ansible tool based on something called Python, right? So when I say that he developed the Ansible tool based on Python, now you should know. Now, many times you will have a question here. Okay, Ansible is developed based on Python. Now, it is clear that it is developed on the Python, and definitely you have to learn the Python. But remember, Python is a backend language of the Ansible, right? For example, you talk about Unix or Linux or Windows. Take an example, Windows. If you want to learn a Windows, are people are going to learn PowerShell? Not required. Not required, right? If you'll just know how to operate the Windows, how to configure the services, that is sufficient, right? When you need a PowerShell, when you want to enhance your skills, when you want to just do a deep dive into the Windows, you either working in a graphic mode, you also want to work on the command line, or you want to automate the things, then you should learn something called PowerShell. Same in Linux and Windows also, you should learn some scripting language or Unix level kernel programming language, you should learn it. This is what exactly how it's going to, right? But it is not mandatory that you should learn, you know, Python to work with the Ansible. Now you will say that, okay, fine, boss. For learning Ansible, we don't need any coding language, and there is no need to know about the Python. In case if you say that if I know the Python, what is advantage? The advantages is you will come to know what exactly happening in the backend. What exactly happening at the backend you will come to know. Okay, and it also helps you out in developing the modules. So you will come to know what is modules in another 5-10 minutes. Okay, this is what exactly how you can do, right? Now you will say that, okay, fine, boss. I understood. Like Ansible is an open source tool. It is developed based on the Python, and it is developed by something called Michael Dehans, and in 2012, right? And Michael Dehans has made this as an open source automation tool. It's also good, right? But because the Ansible was an open source tool, that people started using it, really no, right? So there are many other features that made people to choose, or I will tell you in a very fast track manner, people have switched from other tools to Ansible, right? So we will be discussing about all this, features now, right? So now you understood like Ansible is not how when it was introduced, who developed it. This is what exactly, right? And when Ansible was introduced, right, it is developed only for Linux as well as Windows only. Sorry, Linux, Windows as well as, I mean, instead of saying Linux and Windows, I will just try to say operating systems and network. In 2012, these two, platforms are hugely used because at that time we used to have very less tools. And if you talk more about the OS and network, the database used to come, some application tools used to come. That is what exactly our infrastructure used to be, right? But right now there is something different happening in the industry, right? So this is what exactly. So Michael D has developed the Ansible tool, okay, just to support operating system, especially Linux, Windows, as well as network. This was exactly the goal, right? So this is all about, okay, the history about the ants, right?
Mm,
So, I mean, any questions, any doubts here? Is all good?
mm, yeah.
Yeah, no, good. So this is what exactly how it is. It has been Ansible came into the IT industry. Then then apart from this, like in when Ansible was also when Ansible was introduced in 2012, it is something called Ansible engine. It is called, right. This Ansible engine is purely a CLI tool. It's purely a CLI, right? You have to install
Mm,
Ansible package and write the playbooks. We call it as a playbooks, like we do those shell scripts, right? Shell script we call, like here we call it as a playbook, right? So now the question here is like when I'm just talking about the playbook here, when I'm just talking about a playbook, now you will have a question, sir, how I'm going to write a playbook, right? Very simple thing, because when you are working with Java, you will write the Java code using something called Java language. Yes or no?
yeah.
So when you're working with Python, you will try to write the code using Python. You have some structure, some methodology to write this, right? At the same time, when you're working with Ansible, okay, I mean, how you're going to write the playbook here, right? We call it as a playbook. So when I'm talking about the playbook here, we are going to write the playbook using a language called YAML. What it is called? YAML. YAML
Mm,
stands for anti-markup language. It is called. This is one of the data distillation or data serialization language. It is a very, very user-friendly language. Okay, if I want to tell you, it is just like a text file. I mean, it is just a text file where you write a text. How you write a text in a file. In the same way, you're going to write the playbook using something called YAML. It's very simple. If you just spend a 20 to 25 minutes of time and to learn YAML, and I will assure you that after you learning this 20 to 25 minutes, after 30 minutes, you start writing your own playbooks using this YAML. Such a user-friendly, language is something called YAML. Getting it? So this is what exactly how it's going to go. Now let me take you. Ansible was released in 2012 by Michael D. Hans, a developer who has been working for a configuration management and infrastructure orchestration in one form or another from many years. Michael found many companies were using separate tools to automate their workload. So what are the tools they are using? Something like when it comes to configuration management, people are using something called Puppet Chef and CF Engine. Okay, if it comes to the server deployment, they are using something called Fabric or Capistrano. And if it comes to a haddock command, like what is haddock task execution? So like when you want to just quickly perform some task, we try to use haddock task execution here. We try to use function plain, and we try to SSH, we are going to use it. So you know what is SSH, secure shell.
Yeah.
So this is what exactly. And he was looking for a better way, and so Ansible wrap up all the three of these features into a one single tool. This is what exactly how it's going, right? So this is basically how the Ansible came into an existence, and in 2012 to 2015, Ansible has captured, huge market. Why? Because the people who were using Puppet Chef and CF Engine or other tools, they stopped using it and switched into something called Ansible. All right. So this is what exactly how, you know, uh, the changes happen in the real world, right? But remember one thing, like in 2015, what happened is uh, the Red Hat has undertaken the Ansible. Ansible was written by Michael D. Hans and acquired by something called Red Hat in 2015. Right? So as in 2015, Red Hat has acquired it. Why it is acquired it? As it has did a lot of research on Ansible. Okay. And when it made a lot of research on Ansible, and they have seen a huge market for Ansible, but as Ansible was you know, it was a command line tool, right? As it was a command line tool, and as the market is growing and infrastructures are growing, right? When like in 2010, 2011, 2012, or before that, we used to have an environment with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, like this machines. Of course, we used to have a big environments also, like the 20, 30,000 machines also, right? But what happened is many people, they don't um, show interest in using something called automation tools for automating their environment. So, but slowly after some time, like what happened is slowly as virtualization has been introduced, and slowly after 2012, or we can say the cloud has came into an existence, and slowly the cloud market also started. Then the things was keep on changing. And Red Hat has predicted that the future might really get changed. So they want to enhance the features of the Ansible, right? They want to enhance the features of the Ansible, and they want to, come up with something called Ansible Tower, right? The reason behind this is because the command line tool doesn't have, a broader view about what exactly happened on the environment, right? So that is the reason what Red Hat has done is they have want to enhance the features of Ansible, and they want to bring a new tool called Ansible Tower. And Ansible Tower is really not a command line tool. It is purely a web-based UI. It is purely a web-based UI, we can say, right?
Okay.
So when I just say it is a web-based UI, so like how you are accessing your AWS console, how you are accessing your Gmail ID, how you are accessing the oh, like GCP or Azure consoles, like cloud consoles, in a same way that ours, a console look like. And it has a clear dashboard which gives you a detailed information about what exactly happening on your environment. Okay. So how many jobs are running, how many jobs are pending, how many jobs are in queue, how many jobs are successfully run, how many are error, how many users are connected, right? It is going to give you a detailed information about the your infrastructure using something called Ansible, right? So this is what exactly how things was there, developed. And there are a lot of difference between Ansible engine and Ansible Tower. You will come to know in another 5-10 minutes, right? So this is what exactly Ansible team oversees the core Ansible development and provides services and extra tooling such as Ansible Tower to the organizations using Ansible, right? This is what exactly happened. And Red Hat really took a lot of time to develop Ansible Tower. So as you know, it undertaken the 2015, and they struggle around 3 to 4 years to get this tower into the market. And suddenly, we had a pandemic like COVID, and because of that reason, entire market was something like stunned. It has been paused, right? But we know, when we were struggling to survive in COVID, right? Red Hat started implementing this Ansible tower within the organization to automate their workloads. Isn't it? So this is what exactly. That is the reason many people they never came to know up to 2022. By the end of 2022, they never know that how the things were automated, right? Then after 2022, when people came to know about okay, was Ansible tower is being used to automate the entire infrastructure, then they realized, then started learning, started working with something called the tower. This is what exactly happened, right? And there are many companies they are using Ansible tower. Actually, we used to call it as a tower, but right now it is not called as a tower. We call it as an APP. APP stands for Ansible Automation Platform, it is called. Okay. And this Ansible Automation Platform gives you Ansible command line as well as Ansible Tower also it is called. Right. And remember, one more thing you should know, this Ansible, tower, uh, okay, we will discuss that. Okay, not now. So I'll give you some information about it. So this is what exactly. Then when I'm talking about Ansible here, so Ansible is simple. Why it is simple? Because we are going to write the playbook, which is human readable automation. Anyone can read it. Now there is a new person came, he doesn't know have any knowledge about the coding. Not a problem. You can just open the playbook and just go through it, right? It will be a normal text format will be there. You can just understand what is happening there. So human readable automation, no special coding skills is needed. This is very, very important. Anyone without any prior coding skills, they can learn the Ansible and they can skill up, and it will help him in getting new opportunities, right? And the task execute in order usable by every team to get, product quickly. This is what exactly. Okay. So this is one powerful feature we can say. And when we talk about the powerful, so you can use Ansible for application deployment. You can use it for configuration management. You can use it for workflow orchestration, network automation, and orchestrate the application lifecycle management. So these are all the areas where the Ansible can be used. That is the reason it is called as a powerful tool, right? Then we talk about Ansible as agentless, right? So first of all, you should know one thing. See, whatever the automation tools we have, there are two models in automation tools. One is push mode, another one is pull mode. Are you getting it? So this is what exactly. One is push mode, another one is pull mode. Now take an example. If I talk about Puppet Chef, they comes under something called pull mode, right? So you might have a question, what is mean by pull mode? Take an example. This is my, you know, um, a chef or puppet server, and we have something clients like this, right? It might be a Linux, it might be a Windows, it might be anything here. So basically, how you're going to confirm that this is a client? So what you're going to do is you're going to install an agent on this. Okay. What is this agent? Agent is nothing but a client software. Like we used to work with Oracle. So we used to install an agent on a client, right? So using that client, or you can say it is a connection broker, we will call. Using that client, we will connect to the server, and we will try to get all the informations. Getting it? So this is what exactly we used to go with. There is nothing new in it. This is a traditional method of using a server and client method of software, right? But this agent has some feature. What is this agent has? This agent is like without any approval, you cannot use this agent on any machine because it counts the license. It comes into commercials, right? So this is what exactly how the things used to work, right? And you should understand that this is something called pull based. What is pull based? This agent will connect to the server and it will pull the information to the client. This is what exactly the pull based, right? But whereas when it comes to an Ansible, like this is assume that this is my Ansible server here, and this is my client, right? Actually, I'm just calling it as a client. So basically, Ansible server is called control node here. It is something called control node here. And this is something called manage node. This is a terminology used, right? So whenever you're connecting this, so basically this is something called push mode. So when I talk about push mode, so you should understand, you're going to write the playbooks here. You're going to write the playbooks here, and you're going to push this particular playbook to this particular, managed node or a target machine or a client, you can say. And when this playbook is being pushed, now the question is how it is going to push. It is going to push, if it is Linux to Linux, it is going to use SSH, right? So you know very well SSH communicate in two ways. One is password-based authentication, another one is passwordless authentication, or we call it as an key-based authentication we call. So SSH is going to use that key-based authentication to post this particular code from your control node to manage node, right? So as it puts this particular code using SSH key-based authentication to this manage node, okay, or a client, and it will run this particular playbook here and completes the entire task and roll backs the code or removes the code. This is what exactly happened. So this is something called a push mode, and we don't need any special agents on my client because it is using a well-known service called what? SSH. If it is Linux to Linux or Linux to Unix, it is going to use SSH. Now you might have a question, in case if I'm having a Windows, then what it is going to use? It is going to use a tool. I mean, it is going to use a uh, connectivity or a tool or a service that is called WinRM. WinRM stands for Windows Remote Management Tool. It is, yeah. So this is the way how it is going to go with. So because the Ansible was agentless, that is the reason people got attracted over the Ansible and they stopped using like tools like Puppet and Chef. They switched their entire environment to the Ansible. This is what exactly how it's been, you know, used. Okay. So I hope you understood like what is agentless and what is pull mode and push mode. Any questions here? Let me know.
So I just
Yes.
have one question for myself. So on the agent or on a
Okay.
client,
Okay.
don't we need to install anything
So no need to install anything on the client. Only make sure that
okay
you have an SSH passwordless authentication to that
on the
particular
control
machine.
node?
From control node to managed.
Okay, got it.
Okay, control. Why we are calling control node? Like here on this particular machine, Ansible is installed and it is running, right? Okay. So this is what exactly. That is the reason we are calling it as a control node, right? Managed node. It can be any target machine. Any target machine it can be, right? So wherever your Ansible software is installed and running, that is called control. Very simple, right? So this is what exactly how you're going to go, right? And when we talk about playbook, right? So basically, when I'm talking about the playbook, you can write the playbook anywhere. Okay, when I say anywhere, take an example. Your control node is like Linux, assume that. Okay, inside the Linux, how you are going to write the playbook. So we are going to use something called VI. We are going to use Vim, or you can use Nano. You can also use something called gedit also you can use it.
Yeah.
Any of this file editor you can use to write the something called playbook, right?
Mhm.
But take an example. We have a Windows users, right? And Windows user will say that, boss, I'm not good in VI, Vim, Nano, gedit. I'm not really not aware of it. Because I'm a Windows guy, I'm not aware of it. Not a problem. Inside the Windows, we have a notepad. You can write it on
Yeah,
notepad. You can write it with the help of the other application called Notepad++,
Notepad plus plus.
or else you can use something called IDE tools you can use. You'll ask me what is IDE tool? IDE tools, something like Visual Studio Code, PyCharm, Eclipse.
Okay.
There are many other
Okay.
tools. Even Notepad++ also comes under IDE tool, right? So you can use
Mhm.
any of these particular IDE tools to write a playbook, right? Getting it? So this is what exactly how we're going to go about. And these IDE tools, especially, you can install on your Windows laptop, and you can start writing, right? But now the question
Mhm.
is, okay, fine, I will write the playbook. Okay, that is not a problem using these IDE tools instead of using VI or Vim, Nano, Gedit, and all this thing. Now you will have a question: what is the big difference between these tools and this traditional VI, Vim, Nano, Gedit? Basically, VI, Vim, Nano, Gedit, or Notepad when you're using, they doesn't support error corrections. What is error correction? When you're typing something, there is some error. Okay, instead of putting comma, you kept dot, or instead of putting square braces, you have kept the flower braces, right? Instead of giving two spaces, you have given three spaces. This is called error. So basically, VI, Vim, Nano, Gedit, or Notepad doesn't have, a feature of supporting the error correction, right? It never show that there is some problem here when you're writing it. But when you go for IDE tools, they are very smart, okay, and very accurate, we can say. So they, when you're typing the code only, in case if anything is missing or any issue is there, it will immediately give you there only, so that you can fix that issue and you can go with it, right? So this is the way,
Mhm.
like this is the reason how why we are using, right? But the question is, okay, fine, I'm writing code in using this IDE tool on Windows, but how come, I'm having a control node which is somewhere else? Okay, that is called control node. Right? How do you push, right? So very simple here on your Windows machine, when you try to create a playbook using these IDE tools and using a Git and GitHub, you will upload into a centralized repository. And from there, you will try to generate a URL, and that URL will be placed within your playbook where you are right. Um, playbook in a sense, you have to write some code here, partial code you need to write because you want to run it. Then, based on that, it is going to execute it. Getting it? This is what exactly
Mhm.
how it is going to. Yeah. So you will come to know about this entire architecture. By tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you'll come to know about it. Right? So this is all about something called agentless here. And what can I do using Ansible? Do this, like you can do orchestration, configuration man. Just now we were discussing application deployment, provisioning, and continuous CI/CDs we can do, and security compliances also we can. So where you can do all these things, you can do it on firewall, load balancer application, containers, cloud infrastructure, server infrastructure, storage, everywhere you can use it. So there is a wide range of support for the Ansible, right? So this is what exactly. And you can see this slide shows you like this Ansible automation can be used on all these technologies, right? Only important things has been, you know, uh, I have just kept it as a information as a slide here. There are many things that has been supported day to day, monthly month, or year to year. The support has been extended, right? So this is what exactly any cloud you can automate, any virtualization you can automate, any operating system you can automate. So many things, right? So this is basically how you're going to go. Right? So up to here, any questions, any doubts? Up to here, any questions, any doubts? I
No,
You
not at this
understood, right?
moment. But
Okay.
yeah, as we go, uh, are we going to cover, like you said, that it's part of CI/CD, so it pulls the code from Git or some repository and then push it to the client node.
Mm-hmm.
So that uh, Git, let's say Git or any other repository, it will be before the control node, right? So control node will be reaching out to the Git,
Mm-hmm.
pulling the code and then pushing it to the client. Is my understanding correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is something like that only.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So are
So
we going to touch that topic as well, Kumar
yes,
sir,
yes, we will
as
go. We
we
will.
go
We
in?
will be.
Okay, okay.
We will take one, two examples.
Mm-hmm.
I will try to append a playbook into my GitHub,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And we will try
Okay.
to create a URL because in GitHub,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the playbooks that you're going to keep it, we are going to have public and private. Okay. So we will make that
Okay.
particular playbook as a public. So when you make it as a
Sure.
public, you will get something called URL to it. So no need any credentials. You can just share this
Mm-hmm.
URL to anyone, right? So
Okay.
then what we will do is I'll try to create one playbook there and inside the control node because we have to give the address of this URL, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we will try to give the URL here and then we will try to execute it. So when we run it, assume that you're going to run this particular playbook for this particular machine, this target machine,
Mm-hmm.
and it will connect this particular machine and it will try to run. So run is nothing but it will try to pull the playbook from here to here. Getting it? So this is what
Mm-hmm.
exactly how you're going to work with, right? So I'll definitely show you, but it takes little time. Maybe when we discuss something about dynamic inventories and when we started discussing about tower, and you will understand
Mm-hmm.
the concept very well there.
Okay.
Mhm. So this is what exactly because until unless we complete something called 6 to 7 chapters, you will not be able to get exact picture of how exactly the Ansible is going to work and all these things. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
definitely we will be discussing in a tower with there are many examples we have. One example is pulling the playbook from the GitHub, right? So this is what exactly. Right? So definitely we will be going with that. There's nothing wrong. Right? So any other questions? Abhi,
Mm.
mm,
Bala,
yeah.
is how it is useful in SAP site, SAP platforms.
SAP also it is useful. Um,
How it is useful, any automation can do on SAP
yeah, yeah.
site.
Why not for deploying, for configuring? You can use it. I will show you one minute. One moment. So basically, this is my infrastructure exactly. Can you see this? I'm having two machines here. One machine is acting as a control node, another machine is acting as a managed node, right? So right now, what I'm doing is I'm connecting to my control node here with the username called Ansible. Right? So very simple. I'm going to run something called Ansible hyphen doc hyphen L. I'm going to put it. So these are all something called modules. So what is this modules is basically inside the Linux or Windows or Unix, we have a commands, right, to perform something. You know, you want to create a user, you want to deploy some application, you want to restart a service, you need something called command. At the same time, when you want to work with something called Ansible, you should know something about the module, right? Now take an example. Now the question is like what I can do with something called, you're talking something about SAP, right? So
Mm.
take an example. When I'm talking about SAP here, I will show you Ansible automation for SAP, right? Like this is what it's. So when I just try to, let me do one thing, galaxy.ansible.com. So basically, this is a site from where you can get your collections. So you'll ask me what is collection here. Collection is nothing but you can say a collection contains modules, right? For example, I'll just try to write let's say, do you see this Ansible power, VS underscore Linux SAP? Can you see this? It's
Mm.
all related to SAP. See, you can see Power AIX SAP, Power IBM ISAP. Like you can see this. This is so many things we have. Now Power Linux SAP, or else I'll just go with this one. So when do you see there is one command available here, right? So this command, when I just try to copy, and you can see power LPAR configuration for SAP HANA, SAP NetWeaver using Ansible, right? So when you have this kind of requirements, now what you need to do, you need to just copy this particular command and get back into your control. And when you just paste this and enter it, now what it will do, it will try to install this, you know, collections. As it installs the collection, it will give you the modules to automate your requirements. Is it clear? Right? So whatever it might be anything. You want to install SAP, you want to create a file system for SAP, or you want to create a configure swap, or anything that you want it, you can just go. So this is a documentation you can go. Is it right? Is it clear? I mean, you're getting it right. Yeah, this is what exactly. So you can see this is what exactly how you can do. Right? So this is how we are going to work with Ansible. Right? So, so this is the way you are going to, for example, SAP. Again, I'm just trying to see. You're going to get it. You can just click on view more and you're going to get it. See, so many things. SAP installation, there is a collection here. If you just want to do SAP installation here. Okay? This is a documentation here, what you can do. These are all the modules here. These are all the modules. You can see this SAP HANA, SAP, SA HANA, S4 HANA.
Yes, that's one.
Yeah, this is what it's saying.
So what about this Azure AWS, Bala?
Yeah, you can automate even Azure and AWS also. Everything you can automate. For that, you need to just know the collection. For example, we talk about Azure.
Okay.
For Azure automation also, we have a collection here. Okay. So like this, for example, if I want to show you, when I just run this particular command, do you see it is giving me the modules related to AWS? Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what exactly. So basically, when you install Ansible software, right, you will never get all these modules. You will get only around 100 to 150 modules that is only used to automate your Linux task. Only you will get it. But that modules are called what Ansible built-in modules. It is called. Can you see this? This is what. But in case if you want to work with AWS, Azure, you can see this is Azure modules. Can you see this? This is all Azure modules. I have installed it. Okay. This is what exactly how it's going to do. Okay. So you will come to know, like as we get into the sessions, you will come to know about the things. Even for Docker also. See this. This is all related to Docker, and this is related to AIX. This is related to AIX. Right? So this is all important things that you must know. Right? Any questions still here? I hope you are getting it right. You can see SAP, you can see SAP modules are available here. Can you see this? This is all SAP. Now you can start. Even you can use SAP for Azure also. You can use SAP for AWS also. You can use SAP even for VMware also. You can see this. This is all VMware. This is what it's in.
Nowadays, artificial intelligence is came in the market, right? AI.
Yes.
AI any related to Ansible, Bala? AI.
No, AI is not, I mean, we are not using AI related Ansible, but of course, you can create a use cases, or you can create a sample, I mean, playbooks using AI. There is nothing wrong in it. And many people, they are using something called ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok. You can use it. That's not a problem. Even Red Hat is also providing a built-in AI module also it is there, but maybe I don't think still Red Hat is allowing us to integrate AI with Ansible, I don't think so till now.
Okay.
Maybe in
Okay.
future it will be there because as the AI module came into Linux, then definitely it should support even Ansible also, I think, right? So this is what it's at. So this is all about today's session. So tomorrow
One,
we,
one last question, Bala.
yeah,
What about these practicals? Any
practical,
hands-on?
yeah,
How to
hands-on.
do practicals?
So for practicing, like I'll guide you how to set up a lab environment if say
Okay.
on your laptop only.
Okay.
But in case, basically you need a good configuration laptop, 16 GB RAM and the i5, i7 like this we need. If you say that I don't have that huge configuration or you have an office laptop, I don't right now not holding any personal laptop, nothing to worry. We can create on AWS cloud also.
Okay.
AWS cloud or GCP cloud or Azure, whatever it is comfort to you, we can set up it. That's not a problem. Right? Lab is not a problem at all. Right?
Okay.
So this is what, right? So that's it for today. And we will meet tomorrow, same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
Bala.
how long is this training?
Actually,
Is
this training is 40 hours, 35 to 40 hours. If we take little
okay,
more examples, if you just elaborate the things, it will go around 40 hours. Right?
okay.
So
And
basically,
will it be daily one
yeah,
hour or it will
it
be
will be from Monday to Friday. If you want on Saturday, we will plan it out.
okay?
Okay, Monday to Friday, we will do it daily 1 hour. And
Mm-hmm.
and one more thing is this entire training is divided into two modules. One is Ansible Engine, another one is Ansible Tower. So Ansible Engine will be around 25 hours and Ansible Tower will be around 10 to 15 hours like this.
Okay.
Okay,
And
because
is there any
without,
certification for Ansible available right now, or
pardon?
is there any certification that
Yeah,
is
yeah, we have
available
a
for Ansible?
certifications. Actually, there are certifications like
Okay.
RH294 is one certification we have. Okay, after
Mm-hmm.
completing this course, you can just appear for the certification. Okay, it
Okay.
is called EX294, it is called. 294
Mm-hmm.
it is called. But for appearing for this exam, there are some prerequisites we have. After doing this training, what you need to do is you need
Yeah.
to go with exam assistance you need to do.
Okay.
So separately again, this exam assistance will cost you. Exam assistance
Mm-hmm.
is something like how exam pattern will come, how the questions will come. Okay,
Okay.
and because the Red Hat exams are purely practical based, right? They
Yes.
will give you the machines, they will ask you to perform the task, right? So
Okay.
to understand how these things will come, you need to go with exam assistance. After completing the exam assistance, you will take some 1 to 2 weeks time to practice this all questions. Then
Mm-hmm.
time limit also is very important. Okay. So
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and once you get a confidence saying that you have done with everything, then you can buy the voucher and then you can appear for an exam.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what
Sure.
exactly. The voucher cost will be around $400 if it is in US. In case if it
Mm-hmm.
is in India, the cost will come around something called 22 to 23K. Like this it will be.
Okay.
Right? So this is what exactly.
Um,
And this exam will be two types here. You can go to the center, you can schedule and you can go to the center and you can write it. You will have a
mm-hmm.
kiosk setups will be there where you have to, you're going to sit in a closed cabin and you're going to give the exam. Otherwise, if you don't want to, if you say that I don't have any centers near to me, you can write it from your premises, your house also, your home also, you can write it. For that, you
Mm-hmm.
have to follow some instructions and you need to write it. That's not a problem. But I'll not recommend this. I'll recommend always go to the center and write it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
better thing because you need to manage lot of things here because you will be sitting at your, in a room like, it should be closed. No one should come. No one should disturb. You should have a power backup. You should have good internet speed. If anything goes wrong, the proctor will not consider anything. So many things. You should have a
Yeah.
two cameras. One camera will be monitoring your premises. One camera will be monitoring you. Lot of headaches will be there. So I'll not recommend this.
Mm-hmm.
We used to, Red Hat used to recommend this at the COVID time. They introduced this remote exam. But
Mm-hmm.
the success rate is very low here. Why? Because
Yeah.
environment conditions and this and that is really not good. So that's the reason what I recommend is you can go to the center and you can buy it. It's a best option,
Okay.
right? So you can just check with the near center and you can buy it. This is what exactly how you can do, right? And this is all about the certification, all these things. And the entire Ansible engine concepts are there, right? We are going to cover everything from this book only.
Okay.
Okay, we will be covering everything from this book. Of course, we will go out of this book and we will work on it. That's
Mm-hmm.
all right. So this is all
Sure.
about.
Okay.
So that's it, right? Any questions? If you have any questions, we can discuss tomorrow also.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
fine.
nothing for now,
All right,
actually. Thank
fine.
you. Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
tomorrow also you can consider this as a demo only or your real session. Actually, I have planned for 2 days demo classes. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So fine, that's
Yeah.
it. We will meet tomorrow same time. See you. Bye. Thanks for
Sure.
joining the session.
Thank you.
Has
Thank
Bye.
anybody expecting,
anybody?
Bala? Anybody is expecting?
Yes,
What
yes.
is called?
Actually, today another two students has to join
Oh, okay.
because of
Oh,
some reasons they did not join. I have to share the recording and
Yeah,
maybe tomorrow we can expect them.
yeah, sure.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, Bala.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.